Hello, and welcome to another episode of 10-Minute Tours. We are here at the Sycamore School in the DMV area. That's the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And we're met with the Director of Admissions, Advancements, and also Communications, Miss Andrea Shore. Thank you so much for having us. I understand we've also got one of your colleagues behind the scenes, Lauren, the marketing specialist, on camera.
Yes, Lauren's behind the camera. And so I can't see you, Whitney, but Lauren's gonna masterfully orchestrate all of this from behind the camera.
Well, great. Thank you. I'm so excited to hear about your school. I know you are one of our first member schools and partners at the Microschool Network, so we've always appreciated your collaboration.
Yeah, we were one of the founders. This is only our ninth year in existence. And as you said, we're in the DMV. So we're in Northern Virginia. So those of you who don't know, we are in Arlington, Virginia, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump over the river from Washington, D.C. So when people talk about, say, the Pentagon, that is actually here in Arlington, not in Washington, D.C. So we're really close to Washington, D.C., which makes it great. And so we also serve kids in grades 5 to 12. So we're a middle school and a high school. So I'm going to take you on a tour. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that we are a no phone school. So this is a kind of phone jail. The kids come in the morning and put their phones here. So that way they are not on their phones at all, even during lunch. And they can't be on laptops during lunch either. They have to actually talk to each other, which is a great thing.
That is a great thing. How do new students adjust to it? Are they pretty, it's a little bit difficult, or people are kind of like, I like it, I get to make friends, I get to be here for the real experience?
I think they like it. I think the anxiety of checking their socials goes away. I think talking to kids is actually more fun for them. I mean, we'll have, 17-year-olds playing apples to apples at lunch. And so I think that they get used to that and they embrace it.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah. They can have them off and in their backpacks for field trips. We're not complete monsters. Um, we're going to go into our art room right now, actually. And we have these cool ceiling tiles that the kids have made. And I have no idea how our art teacher is going to keep up with this because we will run out of ceiling tiles at some point. But the kids get two electives each semester. There's an elective, and then our middle schoolers have one elective in their day, and our high schoolers have two electives in their day. And they're really student driven because we are such a small school, a micro school. The kids can lobby for different electives. So there's also random furniture around the room. Last semester, we had a furniture rehab elective that was super popular and super loud too. But it's really fun. So we always offer things like art, music, and foreign language, but they can lobby for other things like psychology, marine science, anything like that. So it's really kind of nice to be a small school and be able to make those transitions for the kids to be able to offer other stuff.
Absolutely. So do you decide the electives before the academic year begins, or you decide like one elective and then the second is decided the second term?
So actually, probably next week, we'll send out an elective survey to the kids and they'll kind of rank them as far as what their preference is. And then once we have their preferences, we'll narrow it down to a few, and then we'll send that out and they'll actually rank which ones they're going to take. So it's like,
Okay.
okay, we decided we're going to offer these four first semester. So now they rank them and they almost always get their first choice. So, but we start out with lots of options. Like a really popular one is cooking, for example. So now I'm actually going to take you into our multi-purpose room for our movement and mindfulness class. These are some of our fifth and sixth and some of our seventh graders playing balloon volleyball. We will actually, for our safety, leave the room.
They're doing it quietly.
So
Part of the challenge.
Ms. Page is the head of our movement and mindfulness program, which is what we do instead of PE, and they do that for fifth through 10th grade.
Okay.
Paige is a yoga therapist, so it leads a whole different vibe to the program. You want to talk about it a little? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
My cute little mic.
When I went to school, when we went to school, PE wasn't always the class that I always looked forward to. And
Agreed.
Agreed, right?
at the same time, it led itself to places where we didn't engage, did not try things that maybe challenged us. So in this class in particular, we're here to do that. We are here to help them do things that may scare them, engage with each other in a purpose of skills that they're learning how to do that. Right now, we just had a discussion about what happens to our body when it's upset and angry and frustrated. And that's why they're actually trying to play volleyball right now, quietly.
Oh,
Learn how.
I thought that was just an exception.
No, learn how to do it when we feel frustrated and we
Yeah.
overreact. So we have a discussion on what that means, and we have different topics. So that is our intent and our purpose, is to give them skills they can use all week long and in their other classes as well.
And the nice thing about Paige being a yoga therapist is that she's also one of our counselors here, because she's, in addition to just including all that social emotional in the class, she's also available to the kids outside of class as a counselor.
And we have different activities where we actually, today, this one is being led by one of the students. So we
Oh,
also
nice.
have opportunities for the students to step up and try something maybe they're scared of.
Yeah. That's what
Okay.
we all need to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
You can
you.
go back to.
Wow, that sounds like the way I want to do PE. I love it.
Paige actually leads sound bowl with staff sometimes, which is really cool. Now we're actually going to pop into Karen's office. This is Karen Ewart, our founder and head of school. I'll give you my cute little mic. So Karen can tell you a little bit about why she founded the school.
Hi,
Hi, Karen. Great to hear from you.
good to hear from you. I am a clinical psychologist, but I've worked in schools my whole career. So being a head of school and clinical director in different school settings, I got to visit different schools. And I was able to see different features of schools that I thought were really interesting. And then in my other hat, I was a parent. And I saw my
Still
own
are a
students. I am still a parent. And
Way.
it's true. And so I saw my own children going through and their friends, and I saw kids getting increasingly stressed and even getting sick, and really exhibiting, having depression, having eating disorders, being overwhelmed. And I thought, oh my gosh, the pressure we're putting on kids is actually making them sick. And so I
Yeah.
had the idea of creating a school where we could challenge kids and build out their skills without stressing them out. And that was the idea around the Sycamore School. And so I basically harnessed some people from my community to help me build out this school. But it was really seeing a need in the community to create a different kind of learning environment, to really get kids excited about learning again, and to really weave in the skills I think are important, like executive functioning skills, socio-emotional skills.
We were just talking to Paige about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and going into our community for their learning. So it's like I picked all these different features that I wanted embedded in our program, and it comes under that mastery school model, and hence the Sycamore School.
And we talked about how we were one of the founding schools for the Micro Schools Network.
Yes.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
we've been so happy to have you. Thank you, Karen.
Good to see you.
All right,
Good
Whitney,
to
we're
see you too.
So one of the other aspects of our school that's a big part of it that Karen just touched on is that we are a mastery-based school. So that really means no grades and no tests, which a lot of times when we're on a tour, if there are kids along, the kids are like, wait, what? Wait, not possible, no grades, no tests. And so actually, Lauren can show this poster. So we use competencies instead of grades to assess the kids. And in addition to the student reaction when they hear this, the parents, every time first reaction is, no, wait, how can my child go to college if they don't have grades?
Yes, yeah.
Right. Like, and so I will tell you, actually, this year's senior class has not received a single rejection from a college yet.
Wow.
And so our kids do tend to go to their top choice. And part of that is because we guide them toward schools that are appropriate for them.
Mhm.
But also, these competencies show colleges that these are kids that can be successful in college. Cramming for your AP bio exam does not necessarily show that you can be successful in college. And no offense to that, my own daughter is going to take her AP exams next week, but it really is setting these kids up for success in a college, a career, a gap program, whatever they do post high school. So these competencies are in our middle school, they're really the overarching idea behind how they're assessing everything. But in the high school, they have to actually prove competency on a minimum of 80% of these in order to graduate. So they have to actually prove that. So their transcript is more like a digital portfolio that not only shows the classes they've taken, but it shows these too. And it shows work that they've done, and colleges just love it. So it's not, in fact, it's a benefit to them, I think, more so than a hindrance. Kind of a gray day here today, but Lauren can show you all of our classrooms have big windows. We are actually in an office building here, which is also very different. And sometimes that throws people off too. But so all of our offices, like we were just in Karen's office, all of our offices are internal. So every classroom has these huge windows.
Oh, that's so lovely.
And when the kids are not playing balloon volleyball, they get outside as much as possible in movement and mindfulness. So they are out and about. We're just gonna walk down the hall a little bit. The kids that were playing balloon volleyball are normally in these classrooms. So we're just walking down the hall. One of the other things that Karen touched on was the fact that we're very community based. So on Fridays, is our community day, and the kids go on field trips. They do community service. We bring in speakers, all kinds like that. And I would say on average, our kids go to at least one field trip a month. And being so close to Washington, D.C., and if you're familiar with the Smithsonian Institution, the museums of the Smithsonian are free. So we just get to pop over and go to these museums, and it's fantastic. So actually, here is Ashley Bryan, who is Director of
Hello.
Instruction and head of our STEM program. I have a cute little microphone for you.
Thank you. Hey, everybody.
So we were going to talk about a little bit about rigor here, because I was just talking about how we don't have grades or tests. And so a lot of times, parents think if their child isn't doing 3 hours of homework a night, like how can it be rigorous? But it really is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we differentiate our lessons for our students. So differentiation includes differentiating down to support people who might be struggling with a concept or a skill, but also differentiating up. So making sure that we challenge our students. So we do that through deeper levels of thinking on research assignments or writing assignments. In math specifically, which is where I was just coming from, we are able to let students move at their own pace, so they don't stagnate at a level while maybe the rest of the class could move on. So they could progress much more rapidly through curriculum. We also have a lot of college level offerings for our math as well,
Right.
for our students in high school who want to continue to push themselves.
And the nice thing is that, like she was just saying, so our math is completely self-paced. So the kids are with their peers, their grade level peers, but everyone in the room is working on their own lesson. And then the teachers, there are 2 teachers in there with between 10 and 14 kids, and the teachers are basically working the room, right?
Yeah.
And so we can
That's
take a
great.
Yeah, it's really different and really cool. And it really serves all the kids. So kids that struggle in math are not feeling left out in the class and not worrying the class is going on without them.
Yeah.
And kids that are super mathy are like, yeah, can just cruise ahead. And we definitely have some of those kids.
Because our goal is definitely just to meet them wherever they're at.
Right, right.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
we're gonna follow you into math class real quick so we can take a peek at our math class. No? Okay, so we'll just take a peek from here. So the kids are really being there, and then the teachers will just work the room. So you can see one of our teachers, Bill, is over there working. And so they're all saying,
6, 7.
thank you, Leah. 6, 7 kind of universal for school. It doesn't have to be a microschool for that, huh?
That's exactly it. Yep.
So this is our college and career wall. It used to be a college and career bulletin board, but we just decided to take over the entire wall, and it's still growing. We spend a tremendous amount of time working with the kids to figure out what life after high school looks like. So the bulk of our kids do go on to traditional 4-year colleges, but definitely not all of them. It really is about fit, and sometimes kids need that longer runway. Because of our model, the mastery-based model, the small school, all of that, we tend to have kids with ADHD, high functioning autism, anxiety, anything like that. Any kids for whom traditional school just doesn't work, and they thrive in this environment. And so sometimes these kids need a different path after high school. And so a lot of them, if the college right after high school isn't going to work for them, they could do a gap program. Like one of our seniors this year has deferred he's going to go to Brandeis, but he's deferred for a year to do like a living learning community next year for college, basically to learn how to like do college, which is not obvious.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
So we bring in, for our juniors and seniors, we bring in speakers 2 to 3 times a month from a college, a career, or a gap program to really broaden their horizons, right? Like there's so many careers out there that we don't even know exist. So we bring in tons, and we bring in speakers from colleges. We talk about life skills in addition to all those competencies. We do a lot. We just did last week, we did mock interviews with our juniors and seniors. We brought in Sycamore parents because that's a nice like low level of stress to do mock interviews with them because, you know, even adults need to practice their interviewing skills, right?
Absolutely.
We really, and like one of these is like things to do in the summer, even if you don't have a job, like kids can use their summers wisely, all of that. I see a student victim ahead of me that I'm going to put on the spot. Do you want to, oh, Lauren, you're going to trip over him. Do you want to stand up and use my cute mic?
Sure.
So Maddie is one of our seniors this year, and you've been here since 7th grade, is that right?
Yes.
You want to talk about why you love our school? Because I know you love it.
I do love it. I heard a little bit of the discussion about
As I was walking down the hall.
Yes. About the curriculum and more educational aspects, but I would like to talk about the social.
Oh, good.
I was at a public middle school before moving to Sycamore, and academically I was fine. I was passing. I had straight A's. But socially I was just getting lost and losing the friends that I moved from elementary school to middle school with as they expanded their friend group.
Yeah, that happens in middle school a lot with the big schools. Yeah.
It was an adjustment that I didn't know how to deal with. And then COVID happened in my 6th grade year. And my brother had been attending Sycamore for 2 years, or he was on to his 2nd year when I was switched over. Purely because they went back in person.
Yeah, Sycamore came back, as did a lot of independent schools, came back to public schools just because we could get the size and we could control the environment a little easier. Yeah.
Yes. And almost immediately I was surrounded by people who just wanted to make me feel included. And as a little 7th grader, I did not want to be included. I wanted to go back to my old school.
Or hide.
That's what I did. Sat in a corner reading and didn't talk to anyone. But that lasted maybe 3 weeks before I broke and
broke in a good way.
Yes, broke in a good way. Before I was drawn out to actually befriend the people who had been trying to be my friend from the start. And I think such a small, close-knit community is so helpful, especially in middle school.
Yeah.
And it's carried out through high school. I mean, I'm still friends with people who I met my 7th grade year who are now sophomores in college.
Right. And we actually brought back for the first time this January, we brought back some of our alumni. So not only are we a newer school, but we started as just a middle school. So we've only had Maddie's part of our 6th graduating class. So we only have 21 alumni total. We brought back a half dozen of them in January for our first alumni panel and really asked them like, hey, how did you feel prepared for life after high school from Sycamore? And they all said great things.
Yes, absolutely. Self-advocacy.
Yeah, self-advocacy is a big part of it. So we were just talking about how parents really worry about their kids not being able to apply to colleges from here without a GPA. Maddie is heading to Sarah Lawrence this fall. And
congratulations. That's a great university.
So the hardest part for our seniors was really deciding which acceptance to accept. And
I was talking to Dr. Karen about it yesterday. I don't think we've had a rejection.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's been amazing. So we're gonna pop in, I think, into Maddie's class right now. We're gonna follow you into class. So one of the things we haven't talked about is we have this cool Hallmark class called our experience classes. And these are science, social studies, and English combined into a transdisciplinary double period class. And so they're not going to like English at 9 o'clock, biology at 10 o'clock, history at 11 o'clock that have nothing to do with each other. They're combined over a central topic around a central question for the whole year. So over the course of, say, 4 years of high school, biology, chemistry, physics, environmental science, all of those sciences are just built in. Same with all the history and government, US history, world history, government. They're just built in across. So what's your, this year, what's your experience?
It is change makers. So we've been looking at obviously people who make change, how they do
Yeah.
it, so that it elicits
Right.
how like said changes affect the world and the environment.
So yeah, so we were gonna peek in, or actually we can let you go back to class and we'll go in, we'll look at our
I'm watching the video, so
okay, so we're gonna go into our
Thanks, Maddie. Nice to meet you.
so these are 9th and 10th graders. We will just pop in to take a look and then we'll come back out.
It's nothing that exciting right now.
But it is my favorite class because it's like being in a tree house with the big windows.
Gorgeous.
It's really nice. Oh, and they're all so quiet and hard at work. I love that. We're gonna feed them in cupcakes or something later. So Cameron is one of their teachers. So Cameron, what are they working on today?
So right now they're working on characteristics of the Haitian Revolution.
The mic. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to give you my cute little mic.
Oh, this is adorable. We're working on characteristics of the Haitian Revolution and taking a look at symbols in the revolution itself. Earlier in class, we talked about what could cause people to either revolt, stay loyal to colonizing, or be neutral in a revolution. And this ties back to our Enlightenment unit.
And what's the theme for this year's experience class?
So first, there are a couple of themes. So this is infinity and beyond, and the essential questions are, why do people travel, and what do they bring with them? And the other essential question is, it's I was about to say, yeah, the other essential question is more focused on ideas and how do ideas spread to create change.
Wow, sounds like a fascinating class. I want to take that.
It really is cool because of the cross-curricular aspect to it. It really enables them to look at topics from all angles, which is really more like what life is like.
Yeah.
It's not really, you're not learning in a silo, you know, that concept of going to your science class outside of your social studies class, you're not looking at the impact they have on each other, which is pretty extreme.
Yeah, and in science, we're learning about Newtonian physics.
They do a lot of hands-on and it's so fun to come down. The kids will be out here in the hall, like doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's one of my favorite things to do is to come see what hands-on things they're doing because really that's the more fun stuff. All right. Well, thank you, Cameron. I'll let you go back to class.
Thank you.
So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about is we're right by our non-gender bathrooms, which reminded me, because we are a small, safe school, we organically grew a decent LGBTQ population, which is it's just a nice way to give them a safe place to be. The world is not always kind to them. And so this is such a great place for them to lower that anxiety of being in a traditional school, whether public or private. The reason it reminded me, I was going to say, is because we have single-use bathrooms because that they're better. That's why we have them in our own homes, right? Sometimes we just don't need a label on the bathroom, and
Correct.
it's a more inviting place for students and staff and visitors to be able to have that kind of environment. So many other things about our school, but do you have any questions? Because it's a micro school, so we are actually at the end of our tour for the most part.
Wow. No, this has been really informative. I love to hear all about your interdisciplinary work, the civic engagement that you're doing. I mean, DMV is just such an amazing community full of so many things to explore. So to hear that the students get to do it, and also what an inclusive space too for students of all backgrounds and
And it makes it for a lovely place to work. And I don't know, like if you heard Maddie saying, like he was talking to Dr. Karen, we're first names. So I'm Miss Andrea to the kids. Since Karen has a PhD, she gets to be Dr. Karen, but it's not worth me going back to school to be Dr. Andrea. For hiring teachers, we're really looking for teachers that can connect with the kids. That is really the most important. Obviously, they have that content knowledge, but connecting with the kids. The data actually shows kids work harder for teachers they like. Um,
Hmm.
we've all heard kids go, "Well, I hate my teacher, so I'm not doing any more work." And it's like, that's absolutely the wrong reaction, right? But so our teachers are all people that the kids can connect with, and also because we are a micro school, when it comes time to those college applications or job applications, when they're asking for letters of recommendation, they're getting them from teachers and counselors who truly know them, and that's
Yes.
the benefits of being a micro school.
Wow. Wow. What a great place. So tell me, before we close, if people want to visit Sycamore, if they want to learn more, do you guys have regular tours, open days, online? What do you recommend for people that
All
are curious?
we have all of the above. On our website, people can sign up for tours. We do regular Tuesday tours almost every Tuesday during the school year. And during the summer, it's just as needed. I'm happy to give people tours anytime they want. Obviously, it's different without kids here, but and then we do info sessions in person and virtual info sessions. And we are really active on social media, actually. So that's a great way for people to get an idea of our school. And we're the Sycamore School VA for Virginia, because evidently there's a Sycamore School in Malibu, California. And while that sounds lovely, that's not us. So they can find us, but we're on basically every social media. And that is really a great way to get that feel for us. And what we do here, I think is great. But yeah, we're, like I said, it's really easy to visit us here.
Oh, well, great. Well, I hope I can come in person sometime soon. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Lauren, for your camera work, and thank you for Miss Andrea for the tour. What a great place.
Thanks, Whitney.
Bye.
Bye.